Hello guys, welcome to my channel. The Less is More. So today I will discuss an editorial on women-led development. It is from Hindustan Times. So the author is Lalita Panikar. Let's directly go into the editorial. India's welcome focus on women-led development. India's presidency of the G20 has brought about a welcome focus on women-led development. This was the central theme at the recent meeting of Think20, comprising Research and Information System for Developing Countries, Asian Development Bank Institute, United Nations, and Seva Bharat. So, in the meeting of Think20, there are other institutions as well, and the central theme of this meeting was women-led development. For this, women across G20 countries, G20 countries must be assured of sustainable livelihoods. The care sector is rapidly growing and creating work opportunities for women. Renana Jabwala, chairperson of Seva Bharat, said, women-led development as envisaged by G20 goes beyond empowerment also. Women should lead a rapacious economy into more nurturing one. Women cannot just be beneficiaries, they must be involved in the decision making, identifying development priorities, designing intervention, and implementing development programs. So, this Rinana Japwala, the chairperson of Seva Bharat, is saying that women-led development as envisaged by G20 goes beyond empowerment also, right? And women should lead a rapacious economy into more nurturing one. And women cannot be beneficiaries only, they must be involved in the decision making, identifying development priorities, designing intervention, and implementing development programs. We need to build on the past G20 efforts. In 2012, at the G20 Mexico Summit, member countries committed to taking steps to enable the participation of women in economic and social processes. After this came the 2013 summit, when member countries focused on access to financial services for women. So, the author is saying that we need to build on past G20 efforts. In past G20 has taken some steps, and in 2012 Mexico summit, member countries committed what? Taking steps to enable the participation of women in economic and social process. Then in 2013, member countries focused on what? Access to financial services for women. Large-scale regular gender disaggregated data is necessary for intervention. So, large-scale regular gender disaggregated data is necessary for intervention. In addition, skill development programs need to be designed to consider practical constraints women face in the job market, including issues of transport, safety, and responsibilities towards care work. So, skill development programs need to be designed considering what? Practical constraints that women face in the job market, including issues of transport, safety, and responsibilities towards care work. India has a vast network of Anganwadi, that is daycare centers for better nutrition and early childhood learning, which have reduced malnutrition through the integrated child development services. However, these centers do not meet the needs of the working mother. Therefore, the scope of this program must be expanded by upgrading them to creches. So, India has a vast network of Anganwadi, right? that is daycare centers for better nutrition and early childhood learning, which have reduced malnutrition through integrated child development services. But these centers do not meet the requirements of present women, that is working mother. Therefore, the scope of this program must be expanded, upgrading them to riches. This will require skilled staff and extension of operating hours of these centers to ensure that they enable mothers to leave their children at the centers in the day. In India, agriculture is a significant employer for women. So, the scope of this ICDS can be expanded for working mother in today's time, and this will require what? Skilled staff and extension of operating hours so that mothers can leave their children to these centers. In India, agriculture is significant employer for women, but women are not primary producers, so they cannot access quality inputs, knowledge, and markets. Agriculture is what? Significant employer for women, but they are not primary producers, hence they cannot access quality inputs, knowledge, and markets. Agriculture policies across the global south must recognize women as a farmers even if the land is not in their names. So, in the global south, the male or the men are considered as farmers, whereas women are considered as employees. So, global south must recognize what? Women as farmers even if the land is not in their names. Women and micro enterprises need access to the means required for growth. In India, they form 20% of total enterprises, with over 90% of women owned enterprises having an annual turnover of under $12,000. So, women owned enterprises are 20% of total enterprises, and over 90% of women owned enterprises having an annual turnover of under $12,000. Digital technologies have become a necessary part of the world of work, with increasing job opportunities for women, which are hybrid or online. In India, 26% of the women own smartphones compared to 49% of men. 30% of women use the internet on their mobile phones compared to 51% of men, resulting in what? A 41% of gender gap. Closing the gender gap in access to digital devices will be a crucial first step. So, we have seen these 20% of total enterprises are owned by women-led enterprises, but women-owned enterprises, but the annual turnover of these enterprises is less than $12,000 annually. Then digital technologies are also becoming a necessary part of the world, right? In India, 26% of women own smartphones compared to 49% of men, and 30% of women use internet compared to 51% of men. This creates a gender gap of 41%. Closing the gender gap in access to digital devices will be a crucial first step. Women must have access to capital. The pandemic has shown us that women are already accessing digital devices and are able to use them effectively when given the chance. So, women must have what? Access to capital. Pandemic has shown that women are already accessing digital devices and are able to use them effectively when given the chance. Sometimes we observe that a collective or micro enterprises use a digital device to sell their products or conduct other transactions. So since micro enterprise also use digital device to sell their products or conduct other transactions, the government has acknowledged and is responsive to all the tasks put forward by Think 20, and this is the way forward, says Monica Reina. So she is saying that government has acknowledged and is responsive to all the tasks that are put forward by Think 20, and this is the way forward, right? Says Monica Reina, consultant advocacy policy and government partnership for Seva Bharat. After the conclusion of India's G20 presidency, women-led development must find a permanent place as a priority and will be further developed during the successive G20 presidencies. So, in the conclusion, the author is saying that G20's presidency, after conclusion of G20's presidency, women-led development must find what? A permanent place as a priority. So, in this way, the India can be a world leader, a global leader for women empowerment, right? Because it can use it as a soft power. So, author is saying that women-led development must find a permanent place as a priority. It should not be like for during 1 or 2 years we are focusing on women-led development or women empowerment, then we forget them for some 9 to 10 years. As we have seen in 2012 and 13, there was a focus on women-led or women empowerment. Then again, this is come during the 2023 during India's presidency. So now it should not be a temporary position for women-led development. G20 must there should be a permanent place in G20's agenda, that is women-led development. Okay. And will be further developed during the successive G20 presidencies. Okay. So this was the editorial from the Hindustan Times. India's welcome focus on women-led development. So this is for today. Thank you guys. Bye. So good. Bye bye. Signing off for the day.